Ken was a chiropractic physician who practiced Plain Spree in New Jersey from 1987 to 2000. He gave up his practice after realizing how much of his patients' pain was coming from Washington, as he started helping people get better one by one. From 2000 until the present, he has worked free of charge as an independent web journalist, and he was one of the pioneers of online political video in 2001. He has interviewed presidential, gubernatorial, senatorial, and congressional candidates, and has had numerous video discussions with the world's most cited video author, Professor Noam Chomsky of MIT. Upon completing a candidate interview in 2000 in Washington, D.C. in 2012, Independent Greens Executive Committee Chairman Perry Campbell, who was watching, asked him where he was from. He replied from Southside Virginia, where he and his wife Elaine bought a home in 2004 and completely relocated from Manhattan in 2016. Mr. Hillwood.
Thank you. What I've done since I was practicing, I practiced for 13 years. I got out of chiropractic college and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I traveled throughout the country to learn how to become a better healer. In time, you walked in that door. Unless you had bone cancer, you were going to walk out the door feeling better. And there was nothing but my hands and my head that did it. And it was very gratifying. But over time, I realized how much pain was being produced out of Washington. Here I am, like, going all over the place, driving, trying to learn how to heal people. And these people in Washington are just compromising, and causing human suffering that I saw. Now, I want to cover three big topics: marijuana, industrial hemp, and the tax structure. A lot of the reason why my patients were stressed out were due to economics, and yet I knew that when I was a kid, I knew somebody who worked in a hardware store, fishing tackle department, and he supported his whole family. His wife didn't have to work outside the home. Now, why, after decades of technological advancement, hasn't it gotten easier? Well, I can tell you why. When Eisenhower left office, the top 1% of income earners were taxed 91% on their highest income. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, how do they make their money? Earth's resources and human labor. We're not importing even from Mars. So, why did they deserve that? Well, now that figure is all the way down to 39.6%. So that's why we have tremendous inequality, whereas when I was a kid, you had Howard Hughes, he was a millionaire. You didn't have billionaires and everybody else behind the eight ball. This is unnecessary. Reverting to tax structure, what happened under Obama was they took it from 35 flat, where W had taken it, and brought it back to 39.6. And even that, it's cost, the Bush tax cuts cost trillions of dollars. So if we want to deal with the national debt, I'll add a fourth topic in there. That's what you do. You revert the tax structure back to what it was like in the 60s. And again, I want to, basically, it's on my site at LegPen.com, but I want to differentiate the top 1% category. Because you can't count somebody making 250 grand and somebody who's a billionaire. So, continuing on, other stresses that I saw were marijuana. Here we have possession of a plant. And I saw people whose mothers and father, sisters, brother, friends were all stressed out because they were facing time to live in a cage for possession of a plant. Based on 30s propaganda that's well known. Now, if alcohol is illegal and alcohol ingestion affects others, why did they make this illegal? I mean, and plus, here's another thing that gets made. If you're for cannabis illegality, then that means you're for having more pedophiles, rapists, and murderers at large. That's just simple deductive reasoning. If they're doing this, then they're not doing that. And it's backed by statistics, too, because in the 1960s, when stats were first taken, 91% of homicides were solved in the United States. Now it's a paltry 61 to 63%. Meaning it used to be that only one out of 10 got away with murder. Now it's over 1 out of 3. So, it's cousin plant, industrial hemp. Here we are talking about uranium mining and all this other nonsense. Why aren't we growing our own oil? We could grow our own oil. I asked Ralph Nader about this back in 2004. He said, yeah, it was a multi-billion-dollar crop. It could increase, decrease our risk of terrorism by reducing our reliance on foreign oil. And it could reduce our reliance on foreign oil big time. Some say completely eliminate our reliance on foreign oil. So if we could be growing our own oil, and it has 25,000 other uses too, so it would revitalize this district big time. See all these factories closed down? You'd see them open up. We need to get away from partisan politics in Washington and start having people in there who actually look at human beings as real people and think twice about why they're sending them to live in a cage, and think twice about why we're making solutions illegal, and think twice about why we're giving all this money to those who have need of nothing at the expense of those who have real needs. So again, electken.com. Thanks for your time. And thanks also for letting democracy, keeping democracy alive by having this forum with all of us.